Hi, I'm Willie Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. Good to be with you all here this morning. There's some things I like to talk about. I think it's kind of important. I don't never write nothing down. I don't never come to this YouTube channel trying to have a script written to support what I'm trying to say. I'm always trying to be led by the things that these gods who created men and women and the whole world, both male and female, show me. I like to tell you 100%, did these gods tell me to come forth and say these things? Absolutely not. Am I inspired by the things they allow me to see? Yes, I am 100%. So that's why I come on this channel and share these things and see where it resonate with your common sense. Knowing that the living God never sent nobody here. Nobody, not one person. It ain't never been a prophet. It ain't never been nobody sent from the height of heaven, like they said. And I can share that with you 100% to let you know, talking to your common sense. One thing about common sense, you can't fool common sense. Everybody have common sense. It's a part in their mind that these living God put in there to check and balance our intelligence. Where the person have more intelligence than you, they can fool you on subjects that you thinking that they telling you the truth. The only reason they can fool you because you relying on their intelligence. We must rely on the intelligence that these living gods give us and the common sense that they give us so that men and women of this earth won't fool us. When I tell you I can prove something to you 100%, this I can, and I'm finna do it right here, right now. When I say nobody in the world know these living God's name, these living God is very smart, and they kept it that way so that we wouldn't blaspheme their name. It's impossible for men and women to blaspheme the living God name because don't nobody know it. You got so many names here on earth that these people call the living God. You got Buddha, you got Baal, you got Allah, you got Jehovah, you got Yahweh, you got Yahshua, you got Yahshua. You got so many names that these people call the living God, and then they'll say at the end, well, they know who I'm talking to. It's important for you to know who you talking to. One thing these living gods done for us 100%. Letting us know because they created us and we their true parents. We came from that lineage. Just like we don't know their name. We didn't have a name when we came from there. When we was in our mother's womb for 9 months, they was thinking of a name to give us. Once we arrive, once we start our beginning, we have to understand 100% that these living gods do things for a reason. So men and women of this world can't not lead their people astray. Give us all our own soul to protect and guard with our free will. Now we go around and we give it to a deity, that we give it to anybody else, then that's truly not their fault. It's our fault for not staying close to what had created us. When you come here on this earth, you'll be pointed a name. You'll be pointed a date of birth. You'll be pointed a state which you reside in, and plus whatever vessel brought you into this world. With them 4 things, you can offer that back up to the living God in introducing yourself. Let the living God know that anytime you call or anytime you need them, you call on them in that format, then it identify who you are here on this earth. The living God will know exactly who are talking to them. 100%. Just think, if you was in a concert and you had 10,000 Tonys out there in the audience, and you perform, and you say, Tony, come to the stage, all 10,000 Tony would rush the stage. But just think that if you denounce Tony's name, his biological name, only he'll come. You say Tony Smith come to the stage, and whoever in that audience named Tony Smith, out of all those Tony, that Tony will come to the stage. We have to realize that name is very important. Everything in the world got a name to identify what it is. We was taught very wrong. We was taught to offer our prayers up in Jesus' name. Just think, everybody in the world, they say their prayers. And then they end it in Jesus' name, or in any other deal of the nature over. Well, a lot of people is calling on that name. It cancel you out. God do not hear from the world that who are calling out to them, because they ended in the name, but it was the wrong name. It wasn't their own name. You don't pump your flesh up when you denounce your name to these living God. You do it with honor and respect. You ask the living God 100% whatever you need to ask him in your name. The living God will protect you and guide you, because you will have started a relationship with the living God. Only you, no one else, can talk to the living God in that name. You don't want to deal with spirits, because spirits of the dead, they wander here on the earth. And anytime you deal with spirits, then anything can possess your soul. You have to protect your soul. You don't want your soul to be possessed by any spirit that have lived their life, have lived it in falsehood, don't want to go to hell by themselves. So you 100% have to protect your soul. Spirits just want your soul. That's of the world that man and women created. A lot of people who died believing in falsehood, who died giving their soul, or who was tricked out their soul, their spirit wander here on earth, and they look to live in someone else. In other words, once they attach their spirit to your soul, then you headed to the same place they are. So it's good for you not to try to conjure up spirits, because the living God don't deal in spirit. The living God deal in the things that are seen. The living God have been showing you all the days of your life that they always been with you. So it's up to you to accept it. Hi, I'm Willie Thomas. I'm Willie Robert Thomas from Atlanta, Georgia. I like to share these things with you all, because these are things that the living God showed me. I haven't found it in no book. I'm not using my imagination. I'm just having a conversation. That's why this thing is called A Talk with Willie T. I'm just talking to you about my findings. And when I talk to you about my findings, it's not to say, hey, I'm converting you to my way of thinking. No, I'm giving you something you can compare with what you have been taught. It's a difference. Its intelligence is greater than common sense. Absolutely not. Living God gave you your common sense. Men and women of this earth taught you how to live a human way of life. So your intelligence that you've been taught is only been taught to you by a man or woman here on earth. When the living God put a brain in your mind, even without even being taught anything, you was able to survive. And I'm talking about our forefathers. I'm talking about the caveman and cavewoman were able to survive without one thing that man or women actually written down and taught them. The power of God, both male and female, the living God, The power of the living God is much greater than intelligence. We have to understand. I understand that we have went forward and we have got modernized and we have took in a lot of human opinion as we got modernized, going forward, trying to make this world a better place for us to live in. Some things have been very good, but some things have also been very bad. So we have to go back to the thing that these living being gave us was our common sense, to probe our intelligence, to make sure that we are taught the right thing, to make sure when we go forward, we're not using our intelligence to hurt the living God creation. Now I can go on and go on, but I got to get ready at some point in time to go to work. My name is Willie Robert Thomas. Keep subscribing to my channels. Let's keep having these meaningful conversations. Let's keep talking, and I don't want to talk so much that I bore you out. I want you to be able to complete the video because it's important. It will resonate our common sense, because that's what I'm talking to you. Your intellect has already been drawn up. Your intellect has already been made by humans and by men and women of this day. But now what you need to do, raise your common sense to probe that, just to make sure that you was told the truth. Thanks, and may the living God continue to bless you. Bye-bye.